from 10 until noon. We are here shining the spotlight brightly on various aspects of the sports world. Had a wonderful conversation with Rahul on cricket. And now to discuss, as you can hear, yes, that was LeBron, that was the NBA. To discuss other things from the sports world, my good friend and a wonderful sports brain, the brain, Manny from Kansas City. Manny, how does it feel to be referred to as the brain?
I've been told worse, so that's not bad.
All right. Well, welcome. I hope your week's been great. And by the way, hey, happy belated birthday. It's belated by a day. Yesterday was the big day. So congratulations on one more trip around the sun.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm feeling a little older, but nonetheless a little wiser as well.
That's what it's all about, man. That is what it's all about. And your wisdom is what I need here on the Sports Spotlight. So let's talk about this. I know we've talked about it the last 2 weeks, but I mean it's the best player of this generation joining an already fairly stacked team, right? So I don't want to belabor the point, but I do want to touch on it. Is Philadelphia at this point, the Philadelphia 76ers, again, in case, Manny, you and I have been in the real world, but in case any of our listeners have been living on Mars or beyond, Elon Musk, um, maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't know that LeBron James packed up his talents and decided to take them to the city of brotherly love, the original Liberty City, home of the Liberty Bell. Yes, all that. And he went and took his talents there to join Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brown, VJ Edgecombe. I mean, at this point, is this 76er squad the most fascinating team in the NBA heading into the season?
Oh yeah, I mean by far easily. I think they were perennially in the conference hunt with the Eastern Conference with the Boston Celtics, and I think that's been a hurdle for them last few seasons. But getting Jalen Brown and LeBron, and I think they were making a play for Kevin Love. I don't know if he signed. I think he's still with Utah, but he's interested in joining the
58-year
Sixers.
old Kevin Love?
Yeah, they're talking about it. I think they haven't signed him yet, but there was talks. I saw some articles. But no, just even if they don't get Kevin Love, just the fact that getting LeBron with his, what was he averaging? Double
20,
figures, 20, 26 points
yeah,
and
20,
12
25.
rebounds or so.
No, not 12, 25, 5, 25, 6 and 6, something like that. But yeah,
6 and 6, okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
look,
I mean, just, and the fact that I've heard that they're going to put him in the point guard position, which is something he did the year that they won with Lakers.
yeah.
That'll really make it a lot easier to get the ball over to Tyrese and Joel Embiid and everyone else, including Jalen Brown. So no, I think that's definitely the analysts are saying certainly you got the Knicks and then you got the 76ers. Those are the ones that everyone predicts. And on the other side, we've got San Antonio and OKC. So
Yeah.
those are the four teams to watch. Certainly, I think the 76ers have a very good shot at making the finals.
All right. What's the word on Embiid? Because again, as Shep likes to say, the participation requires presence, and uh, Embiid has just not been present a whole lot throughout his career. Is he all healed up from the various? I think he had two or three different nagging injuries last season. Is he all healed up? Is he motivated? Is he seeing the opportunity that is in front of him?
Oh yeah, no, I think he's extra motivated. He's certainly seeing this is giving him his best shot at getting that ring. And yeah, you're absolutely right. The guy has had so many injury issues throughout his career, but when he's healthy, he's definitely a very formidable player with the defensive, ring that he protects with his height. And then he's been really good on the offensive ring as well. I mean, getting all those points. I think 3-point shot has improved. No, he's certainly very much interested, and I think this will give him his best shot at getting that elusive ring, man.
Yeah. Look, he seems like a nice dude, is a good player, and you almost, I think this, one of the things we don't necessarily appreciate, especially as just fans, is the health that some of these superstars that can be blessed with, where they can, Michael Jordan, he got injured one season. Other than that, he was always there. Kobe Bryant, he missed extended time in a couple of seasons, but still, by and large, a healthy individual, right? And we don't necessarily appreciate how fortunate those stars are who don't end up with these nagging injuries just over and over. And it's unfair, right? It's unfair to label Embiid as injury prone, because if you look at each one individually, it's just an unfortunate, series of events that lead to the injury. But doesn't matter, because if you're injured every year after 7 years in the league, yeah, you're gonna get labeled as injury prone, because if you're not there to provide, it doesn't matter how good a player you are. If you're not there to provide the output that your team needs, then you're not as valuable as somebody who is constantly present, right?
Absolutely. I mean, who do you think is? When I think of Embiid, I also think of Anthony Davis. That's another center that's
Yep.
constantly been injured and not playing up to his potential that he still has. I mean, the years in front of him. So,
Yeah, and look,
Embiid is
case in point, before you go there, since you mentioned AD, case in point, the year he was healthy. I understand, but people always say it was the bubble, whatever. I mean, you play the cards that you're dealt. Uh, but he stayed healthy and he
right.
dominated, and they won the championship, right? So that's exactly the case. Like, you can be really good, but when you're present, you can be a high contributor to the team's cause. But if you're not present, it doesn't matter how skilled you are. If you're not healthy, that's going to be a problem. Sorry, go ahead. Where were you headed with your thought
No,
process?
I was just adding to that. I think that's absolutely right. As you saw when he was healthy, he was just unstoppable, along with LeBron and the team they had that year. But no, I think it's very important for 76ers to know that since Embiid does have that injury prone happening to him, they should really also have. And I think they've got a couple of decent centers that are backups. I think they have Adam Bona and Ariel Huckporty. These are, I think they signed Ariel in free agency. He came over reserves from the Knicks. But Adam Bona, another 7 footer. I mean, that's somebody that I think they can really
That
develop
can
as well. So if I
spell
was a
Embiid.
76ers GM coach, I would make sure that my backup centers are ready to go and getting some playing time, because inevitably something may happen during the season. They're gonna need to call on those guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, any championship team, no matter how top heavy, in the NBA, in a grueling NBA playoffs, doesn't matter how top heavy your roster is, you need depth. You need depth, because you're going to need those guys to play meaningful minutes in important games down the stretch in, in a playoff run. Absolutely, that's a very very valid point. Hey, so real quick, we've talked about what a great thing this is for the NBA, for LeBron, for the process. I mean, I would be absolutely, look, if it's not the Mavericks, I would be happy for the Sixers to get this championship, just because of the pain of the process that they've gone through for 15 years,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Um, and we can have, if they get this championship, we can have all the debates. I still think it's not the process that paid off, right? When you bring in Jalen Brown and LeBron James, it's not really the process that paid off. But I think the other side of the argument could be it is absolutely the process that paid off, because it's the drafting of the Embiid and the Maxis is what attracted a Jalen Brown or a LeBron James to come
Yeah.
join you, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Edgecombe can't discount Edgecombe. I think Edgecombe was an excellent pick last year. So yes, but here's the thing. So we've talked about all the positives. Our job here at the Sports Spotlight is what? To shine the spotlight on all aspects of sports. So we've talked about the positives. Anyone remember? I'm still young enough, old enough to remember that veritable ocean of all stars that they collected in Portland back in, what was it, in 98, 97, whenever, when they got Pippen and like all the old all stars that they gathered, or even the Lakers. Remember when they got Gary Payton and Carl
Karl Malone.
Malone and
Yep.
right? We've seen this attempt before, not exactly like this. I think those all of those attempts were a lot of aging stars, a lot of talent. I don't want to say aging stars because a lot of them were in their prime. Pippen was in his prime back then, right? Um, I think the Lakers were a little bit more aging stars when they
Yeah.
gathered those guys with Steve Nash and Carl Malone and Gary Payton. But I think the Portland experiment, these were in prime, a lot of talent. I think they had Rasheed Wallace on that team. Yeah, before he went to Detroit. That was a stacked team, about 6 or 7 deep with all stars, and yet they didn't win. So we've seen this before not work. We've seen this work as well. Where do you think, if you were to had to guess, force you to make a prediction, do you think this 76ers experiment is more likely to fail or more likely to succeed?
I mean, I'm gonna lean towards succeeding just simply because I know that there's been a shift in the Eastern Conference with Giannis going over to Miami, and the Knicks, of course, being the defending champs. I think they have most of their nucleus back. But I think definitely I feel like Boston is not gonna be as competitive as they have been the last few years. I think 76ers takes their place, and I firmly believe that at least. Well expected to see the 76ers make it to the Eastern Conference Finals against most likely the New York Knicks. So that, and obviously the fans want not just to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, they
Get
want
to
a
the finals
championship.
and win the finals. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And when does this process eventually end? Does it have a timeline? Like, we need a championship now, yesterday.
The
So
process, yeah, the process is almost old enough to drink.
exactly. So I think personally, I have a feeling this is a star-studded team. I think what is it? Almost 5 players that can give you 20 points.
Uh, yeah.
So it's going to be very hard to beat this team in the Eastern Conference. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting season, man. I can't wait to see how this team comes together.
All right. A couple of things the questions that rose up to the surface level in my mind as you were talking about those things. So first, yes, they do have 5 dudes who could legitimately each be a 25-point scorer, 25 plus. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen because one, this team is not going to get 125 points a game just from their starters, right? It can't. I mean, maybe it can, but somebody's going to have to take a backseat. So who takes the backseat? Is it Edgecombe because seniority? Is it Brown? Brown is already used to playing sort of the second fiddle, but was that what drove him to leave Boston? And is that going to cause problems instead of team cohesion? How do you see these personalities, huge personalities, right? Embiid, Brown, and LeBron.
I agree. I think that could be a source of friction. But one thing I can say is that uh, wherever LeBron has usually gone, he has made the team better with what he's had. So I think just the focus that he has and the drive he has, he's going to bring some of those guys and their egos down a bit. I think uh, Brown definitely wants to prove he was the star in Boston, and he
Mhm.
didn't get quite the credit. And yes, he's going to get his points, but I think he's more focused on trying to be a champion in a new city. And same with LeBron, obviously, been champion everywhere he's gone. I think, yeah, they're going to have to figure this out. It's certainly someone's going to have to maybe take a little bit of backseat, and maybe LeBron. Maybe he's going to be playing point guard more, and so he's dishing it out instead
Facilitating,
of
yeah.
scoring as much.
Yep.
So we'll
Excellent,
see.
excellent
It's going to be
analysis.
struggle initially, but they'll figure it out. I think LeBron is the key. He's the glue that brings the team together, and everyone just knowing they're playing with one of the best players of all time will certainly rise to the occasion.
All right. The other thing, and actually, this one is really, really important. You mentioned the Boston Celtics. You mentioned how, in your mind, they're no longer the the top team to look out for in the East. They're not even the second, right? So, is this the end of this iteration of the Boston roster's championship window? Like, I mean, is that over? They got one, which is good for them, but does this close the window, or do they have a path forward here, trying to go after a big name free agent and bring him in and still try to get Tatum and company another championship here?
I mean, I think Boston is still a legitimately good team. Are they one of the top two teams in the league? I don't believe so. Not after this trade. But they still have a couple of good players, right? They still got Tatum. They got Paul George.
Yep.
Derek White's
White.
a really good player.
Yep, he
Um,
is.
and yeah, I think Boston still has a chance to be maybe
A
at best I
four?
think maybe a fourth or fifth seed. They'll still be in the hunt. They'll be in the playoffs for sure, but I don't see them certainly competing as well against the Knicks or the Sixers.
Not without
And we'll see what
adding.
Miami does with adding Giannis to the mix with Bam Adebayo. I mean that team is going to make some noise as well. But I firmly believe it's the Knicks and the 76ers. Until I get proven wrong, they're the ones I'm seeing getting to the Eastern Conference Finals this year.
Yep, makes sense. Hey, before we get to the next point, which is a really, really important one, I got to tell our listeners about Zohra Mavani of Mavani Hernandez Law. If you've been injured, your life can change in an instant. You need someone who understands you, your language, your background, and your community. Someone who will stand up for you and fight for what is right. Attorney Zohra Mavani of Mavani Hernandez Law proudly represents families across DFW and Houston in car accidents, truck accidents, rideshare injuries, workplace injuries, wrongful death, and much, much more. With over a decade of experience, Attorney Zohra Mavani believes you are more than just another case, but that you actually deserve a voice. If you've been hurt, Attorney Zohra Mavani fights for you. Call now at 469-494-3990 for your free consultation or visit the Voice of Texas, www.mavanihernandezlaw.com. Attorney Zohra Mavani, Texas की आवाज. All right, अब आप वापस आए हैं स्पोर्ट्स स्पॉटलाइट की आवाज. Yes, let's get back into it. So let's say, yes, they're going to be the 1 and 2 teams, right? New York Knicks can't disrespect the defending champs, and then the Sixers. And let's say the Sixers in this iteration, everything gels. They get over the Eastern Conference hump, beat the Knicks, get to the championship. Do they have a real shot, this roster, of beating the powerhouses of San Antonio or OKC?
I mean, on paper, if Embiid is healthy, absolutely. I think if he's healthy, he's got a chance to go up against Wembyana, and what if OKC still has
Definitely
uh,
Chet.
yeah, if they still keep him. I mean, I think so. If the key is Embiid is healthy and playing like the All Star that he can be, then absolutely, I really believe so. But if he's not healthy and the backup centers, it's going to be a little bit tougher, especially Western Conference. They've been knocking on the door. If it wasn't for the Knicks, obviously we saw San Antonio go all the way with them. I think next year would be San Antonio's after everything happened, and hopefully they make a little starting lineup change and put Harper in as the starter. That team is really gonna learn from what happened this season, and Wemby's the kind of player who wants to go down as one of the best all time. So, yeah, I think if Embiid is healthy, they've got a shot. Otherwise, I would pick San Antonio to go all the way next year if it wasn't for the 76ers.
Hey, don't discount the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, they did have a great draft. I mean, honestly, they still got Kyrie. They've got a couple of great players. With the power forwards you guys have over there. No, Dallas.
I think
definitely,
Morez.
I think, yeah. Dallas has a good shot. They had some really good players they picked up. So we'll see how the season goes. But I wouldn't put them in the top two for sure. Maybe not even in the top four. Top six, yes, they may be a 5 or 6 seed and get to the playoffs. But we'll see. Dallas, I think, they had a great draft. So let's see how they gel this season.
Look, if I think more than that, what you mean by gelling is how well Kyrie is able to come back from injury. Is he completely back by the beginning of the season? Can
And how's
he?
Cooper? Yeah.
Can he be? Well, Cooper, I have very little doubt. The way he progressed, Cooper Flag, the way he progressed from November to May, that trajectory tells me that he's going to come in, not during the season, come in at the beginning of the season, a much better player than where he ended it. And that's a scary notion, right? That's a scary notion for the opposition. Everybody in the West, everybody in the NBA, because what he did, the progression he made during the season was phenomenal from the beginning of the season to the end. And I think he's working hard. All indications are he's working hard. He's improving. He actually, I think they said he actually grew, which, makes sense. 19-year-olds still can grow. So if he comes in taller, bigger, stronger, with a better shot, if there's any addition to the height, then his ability to block and defend is going to be improved. Maybe his agility improves. I mean, like the sky's the limit with this type of a talent. So if he comes in a better player, and Kyrie's all the way back, and Morez Johnson can quickly become a third or a fourth option, and Lively's back as the starting center, if he's healthy.
Klay Thompson, you guys got him as well, right? Unless I think
there's a lot of talk about moving
Yeah.
Klay. I think he wants to go win a championship. He's got a year or two left, right? He wants to win a
Okay.
championship.
Yeah.
But the Mavs, because there's so much interest, the Mavs don't just want to buy him out. They don't want to pay money, get nothing just for the dude, right?
Right.
Because there's enough interest. I think they want to hang on to him until someone is willing to pay something decent for him. I think Miami wants him.
I heard
and
Lakers also were
I think the
talking about it.
Lakers, the Lakers want him. So we'll see. Somebody's going to have to pay. I think that's where the Mavs are. All right, we're at break time. I'm going to take a break, and we're going to come back. I think there's a quick conversation that needs to happen in the next segment. So let's we'll come back. We'll talk more sports, and we'll swivel the spotlight from the NBA to the king of sports. The NFL is coming, baby. Did you watch the Hall of Fame game on Thursday?
I did. I caught snippets of it and loved seeing the NFL Hall of Fame ceremonies as well with some very deserving players that got inducted. So, yeah.
We're going to be talking all about that right here on the Sports Spotlight. You're listening to the Spotlight on Radio Azad with Rizwan and Manny.
You are listening to Radio Azad on
KDXX
107.